500 quid this machine. 500 quid. And do you know what you get for 500 quid? An achy arm when you try and spin it and you get to the 12th spin and you're absolutely knackered because you can't spin it quick enough. It's the 22nd of March and it feels like it's like the 10th of November, or you know, end of November, December. It's the weather down in the southeast is just an absolute joke. I have found, albeit last summer we had a hose pipe ban because it was so dry. And I said, when they bring that hose pipe ban in, I said that it won't stop raining. Other than February, which was one of the driest Februaries we've had, I would say, you know, I'd liken this weather to nothing short of monsoon conditions. And it doesn't let up. I was watching the Met Office forecast last night on YouTube, and I think those people on there get great delight out of saying, oh, it's milder, but that does bring low pressure and wet and windy weather. I feel like punching the screen, but you know, I often think when it's sunny you don't tend to get many weather forecasts, because all they can say is, oh well, yeah, it's very sunny, very hot. But so it has hampered me massively, but it still doesn't make any excuses for the lack of footage. The only excuse I have for the lack of footage is I don't charge the battery up on the GoPro. It just goes flat all the time. So today I have this morning upgraded the equipment and purchased a separate battery charger thing with some extra batteries. So now all I need to do is, rather than plug the camera in, just keep charging the batteries up, because that seemed like a much more sensible way forward. But moving forward today, what I thought we'd do this week, so this episode will come out Friday, which would be the 24th of March. That's what I hope. I'm going to do an end of season machinery review on all the machines here at Uckham Lane. Now, I am currently in the Ferguson, taking one of the trailers back that we was using yesterday. So what better way to start than our now tractor that we've had for just over a year. Superb. I can't fault it. I know we have had a couple of breakdowns with it in terms of the diesel this season, but that I don't blame the tractor for. I don't know lots of other people that have tractors and whatnot. I'm imagining you have the same when you look in the lift pump. There's a gauze that filters the diesel before it actually gets to the diesel filters. On the International and the Ferguson, the little Ferguson, I think we took the gauze out of them because we thought, wow, the diesel's getting through to the filters going to do their job. But on this one, I'm a bit reluctant to do it, to be honest, just because I don't know, just because the tractor's more expensive. I've no idea. But so other than that, I'd say this tractor has been excellent, absolutely excellent throughout this, definitely since we've had it, and throughout, I want to say throughout the winter season, because it is now the main tractor. Because we haven't got the Bobcat, it gets used for the crane trailer, it gets used for the log splitter. And I will admit, none of them machines really test the tractor. You know, it's not pulling a plough, it's not pulling the chisel plough in the ground, it's not really doing any hard work. But I'm talking about the reliability. You turn the key, it turns on, you use the PTO in it, and that is what we need, is reliability. So out of 10 for this winter season for this tractor, a definite 10 out of 10. So the next machine to review is obviously what I regard as, well, that is the greatest machine here, and that is this, the AMR Vogan's Blitz 29-ton splitter. You will not beat that machine. You can get any splitter you want in this world, and I am telling you, you won't beat that machine, because it has everything and it just keeps splitting and it doesn't stop. And if you know me, you know that I'm not the greatest at maintaining things, doing greasing and whatnot. Dad used to do it and he was better than me, and Luke, if Luke was here, he would say yeah, and that's saying something, because Dad just liked to grease everything but not actually properly, because he could never, you know, them grease guns, I haven't got one here, which is odd because we own probably 4,000 of them, like the ones that you put a cartridge in but no one ever actually puts the cartridge in. They just get a stick or something and just scoop grease out and just wedge it down in, and then you put like a stick in and like go like that, and it blows the air out so you can get more in. Well, anyway, if anybody actually has done that, they'll realise how difficult them things are to get grease in and get air out so they actually grease. We just have never mastered the art. So every time Dad went to a farm sale, he ended up buying a grease gun. But it wouldn't just be a state-of-the-art grease gun, it would be something like this, like, you know, something that you would see in 1901, like, just, and the grease was probably from 1901 as well, but it worked. He greased everything, and I've sort of found myself doing the same as what he did. So the splitter, again, I've got no qualms against it. Just phenomenal machine, just absolutely phenomenal, and there really isn't much I can say other than 110% this gets 11 out of 10. The AMR Quattromat. I do rate it as a phenomenal machine, but it's only phenomenal because of the setup that we have. Because it cuts about, it's supposed to cut 60 logs a minute. I don't think I don't have it spinning that fast to cut that many, but it cuts, you know, easily cuts 60-70 bags of logs in an hour, well, less than an hour. So if you used to say there's 12 logs in a net, do the maths, 60 nets, 60 times 12 off the top of my head is quite a lot, and then divide that by however many minutes, and then you can work it out for yourself, because I'm just not going to do it. But it does get stuck, like even now it does get stuck, and when it gets stuck it is a problem. Like the wood wedges, because this is, I've seen the new ones and they have actually now bought out these with a separate clutch, which when I bought it I said to Dad what that could do with is like a clutch that isolates it from the PTO, so that you know, the PTO can spin, but you can like move a lever so it stops the blade spinning, because when you turn the tractor and the PTO on, the blade will just spin, and that's just no good, because what happens is that blade gets pinched in, like a bit of wood will pinch the blade and then you've got all sorts of problems. But having said that, it does cut a lot of wood, and if you was to sort of say how many times does it get stuck on a log compared to how many logs it cuts, I mean, it's probably 0%, so or 0 point something percent. But just because it gets stuck, this season I'm only going to give it an 8 out of 10. I feel a bit harsh doing that because it is a good machine, but it's not as good as the splitter, so we're only going in at 8. You know, as we're still reviewing machines, obviously another machine or tool that I use is my chainsaws. I own 2 of them, and they are both Stiehls, even though I am a Husqvarna man through and through. The reason why I've got this Stihl and not a Husqvarna is because 5 or so years ago I was down the bottom cutting wood. Stupidly, I'd cut the wood and I left the chainsaw down there and went off on a log delivery and completely forgot the chainsaw was there. When I come back, it was gone. The CCTV caught the car, it was a red car, caught the bloke coming in. It was just a chancer, and he happened to come in on that same day that I'd left the saw there. I never, ever, ever have done it before, and he helped himself to my chainsaw. I can only hope that he took it home and it either didn't start or it did start, and he chopped both his legs off and his arms, and now all he's doing is rolling around everywhere. Because quite honestly, anybody that nicks anyone's tools, if you do, get off of this YouTube channel and go and put your head in the toilet, because you're not welcome. It was literally the first chainsaw I'd bought. It cost 700 quid. To me, when you're doing logs, 700 quid I think is a lot of money anyway, even though people say, oh, it's not that much these days. You go and get 700 quid, it's, you know, it's nice. So it actually hurt me a little bit. You know, I was cut up about it because I thought it was my pride and joy, that saw. And anyway, we ended up with a Stihl because we went to see our friends in Wales, and there was one down there that was, they were cheaper down there than they are up here. And I just bought the Stihl. So there it is. It's whatever that is, an MS441C. Don't ask me the ins and outs of it, because I couldn't tell you anything about it other than I start it and it cuts that wood and it's wonderful, and it comes in at a 10 out of 10. What I was thinking is, as I've reviewed the chainsaw, I ought to really review what we deliver the logs in, because that is part of it. And it's the show pony. I mean, not many people deliver logs in a Ford Ranger. I am well aware of that, but having said that, it's dual purpose. So, you know, delivering logs in this, as well as using it to I don't know, go for a McDonald's breakfast, is the right idea in my eyes. But unfortunately, just before Christmas, it broke down. I had an engine light on it probably for about 6 months, and as I've previously said, I'm not the greatest at servicing and maintenance. Anyway, something to do in the AdBlue tank, the AdBlue heater element. Cut a very long story short, cost a couple of grand to fix. That stung, that hurt, that really hurt. So I'm obviously not going to rate it high, but all through the cold weather, didn't like starting. Again, glow plugs, we put 3 new glow plugs in. We did have a fourth, but TR Auto Recoveries see to that one. So yeah, basically it's done well. It keeps delivering. I mean, it's dirty obviously, and it you know, but I'm only going to give it a 7 just because it broke down on us, but did pass the MOT, which is always a good thing. So yeah, Ford Ranger for this season, 7 out of 10. One out of 10. Ha! The Old Faithful. The International 475. It hasn't broke down this year. So it's going to come in at quite high. But in the summer, me and Luke will have to get her in the shed, and we will have to split it open because the clutch needs doing for the PTO. It's when you put it on like the splitter or the processor, the PTO is slipping where obviously it's worn. I think it's the Quattromat that has done it, where that bar gets jammed, the PTO keeps spinning, but makes it really hard for it. And also you have to ask, I'm not overly sure how old the machine is, and it's probably never been done. We have split it open before and done the actual clutch. Probably would have been a great idea to have done the PTO one at the same time, but it's Ackham Lane Nurseries, nothing is ever straightforward. For the reason of the clutch slipping on the PTO, I'm going to go in, I want to say 9, but it's annoyed me, so it's 8. The 475, 8 out of 10. Now then. Due to breakdowns with other machines, which we'll get onto next, it's the crane trailer. I have to say, me and Luke, we didn't want the crane trailer, but Dad persevered, and Dad was right, annoyingly, like he always was. But thankfully this time, I'm glad he was, because it's done everything it's asked. I have got these tyres on it, which are going to take a mark off. I know it's not the trailer's fault, it's my fault, but for it being awkward size wheels, we had to have them. They're ex-lorry wheels, they don't go very well in mud. That is the only fault. Other than that, the indicator's not clever, but again, that's no fault of the trailer, it's the crane operative, and yeah, we just blame that on Luke. But for this crane trailer, I'm going in at a 9 out of 10, because when I need it, I put it on, I take it down there, I work. The most I have to do is just tighten up the nuts that come loose, because for some unbeknown reason the wheel is on the wrong way, but there's nothing I can do about it. It's the actual hub. Don't ask me, I'm not a mechanic, but I actually think the bed of the actual lorry, because it's a lorry bed, I think it might be upside down, but don't quote me, because I'm probably talking rubbish. Crane trailer, 9 out of 10. Now then, do I go in depth in this little review of this machine, or do I save myself the heartache and just give it a quick score? I couldn't do that, but when it goes, it's the greatest machine on this place, but it's had it. The engine is kaput. We can't seem to find a 2-cylinder Deutz engine anywhere. If anyone's got one, they want to send it to us either for free or extremely cheap, please comment below. But, or here's an idea, how about Pit Stop Youth Club in Bexhill and Tom from Styles, I take the engine out, I bring it over to you, and then all of you lot can fix it for me, and I will, what can I do for you? Donate you some money. How's that for an idea? But I don't know, it's not been a great winter for it. We do ask a lot for it. It is a 50-year-old machine. The engine's kaput. This is gonna hurt. It's a 3 out of 10 for the Bobcat. 500 quid this machine. 500 quid. And do you know what you get for 500 quid? An achy arm when you try and spin it and you get to the 12th spin and you're absolutely knackered because you can't spin it quick enough. That's what you get for 500 quid. You know what else you get for 500 quid? A burst hydraulic pipe. 2 out of 10. For my video, he's just asked what I got to review it for. But viewers, Colin, of this channel, which I may add, like to see you, although you only give cameo appearances. Anyway, I just said to Colin I ought to review a couple of other things. The hopper. Now I know it's not a machine, but without it we'd be stuffed, and it is hard not to give this a high score. It's man-made, it was cheap. The only problem is this thing is broke, but you know, it was a bit of scrap metal I just made out that holds the bags. But it's simple, it's effective. With the Quattromat and with Louise that side and Colin this side, it makes a fortune, doesn't it, Colin? It does. So I'm going in at a lofty 9 out of 10. The only reason, again, it's not going to get the 10 out of 10 is because there's been a couple of times when the logs have come down and hit Colin on the arm or something. So safety wise, probably could be better. And also, this isn't great. Now I know what you're all thinking. You're all thinking I'm being harsh because that's my issue, because I should have made it better. No, I'm honest. 9 out of 10. What a machine. It's our Kindling machine, all the way from our friend in Northern Ireland who makes them in his, I believe, his garage. Phenomenal machine. We did a little, adapted it slightly because we got slightly bigger Kindling. It still works just as well, and it's secured these Kindling contracts for this year, and I can't fault it. I actually can't. My word. I think I've just found another machine that is going to fetch a lofty score. I can't fault it. There's nothing wrong with it. It does exactly what it needs to. I can't fault it. It's coming in as high as the splitter. No, it's not as. It's coming in as high as the Ferguson here. It is. It is. What a machine. It's 10 out of 10. The Binderburger. Hard not to give that a high score, actually. Very hard. We've had it for a while now, and as you can see, most of the winter it's sat out in that position. I know some eagle-eyed viewers. Oh, not going to show you that. that will be another video. But yeah, I can't not give it a 10. I can't not. Other than, does make a bit of a rattly noise, the belts are a bit loose. Again, hold my hands up, probably my fault or Luke's, because he's supposed to be the mechanic out of the two of us. It's down to him to maintain the machines, not me. But having said that, I think we're going to sail in at a 9 out of 10. I would give it a 10, but you've got to be the big tractor or the log splitter for that. That's safe for special occasions. But having said that, I've got one last machine to show you. So for the Binderburger, which is, if anyone's wondering, it is a saw bench. I've got it on the you can either lift that up and cut logs, or have it like I've got it the ripping deck, because that's what I used to cut kindling, but I'm not doing it today because it's raining. So the Binderburger, 9 out of 10. That leaves me with just one review to do. You know the machine that I have not shown you all, and it is red, and it is less than a year old. But oh my word, the frustration that has caused me this year. The Hacky Pilka Falcon 35. Any Hacky Pilka engineers, the CEO, anyone that has stumbled across this video, you need to send me something else, because I've had it up to, like, not even there. I've had it up to higher than where my hand is with this machine. It's absolutely superb when it works well. Superb, wonderful, best machine you could get. But when it doesn't work, which I should say is probably 80% of the time that I'm using it, it is an absolute nightmare. I'm not going to go into an in-depth review because I've done that in other videos, but basically, if you do not have everything right, so i.e. the chain, the bar, the PTO speed, anything, if you do not have that right, that machine will not work. And it's not going to get a high mark because I've had it for less than a year, and the splitting mechanism, the automatic splitting mechanism, has gone wrong. And like, I consider us as not a massive log supplier. We've worked out that we've cut, since we've had it, roughly 300 cubic meters. I hold my hands up, I don't know whether that's a lot or not a lot. For us, I feel like it's a lot, because that's, you know, we've been busy. But you cannot tell me that log people getting a machine like that, putting 300 cubic meters of logs through it, and it not being great. You know, less than a year and that splitting mechanism's gone wrong. And I know you could say, well, get back onto the company, get back on, but I need to use it now. I can't send it back. I can't wait for the company, which come from Wales. I've got nothing against Wales, but everything we've ever had from there has either caught a light or pissed me off, and this is one of them. So, you know, it's frustrating, but I'm not going to give it the lowest mark because it's cut a lot of wood. It cuts it fast when it works. At the moment it is working, I should say it's working, but it is so frustrating. And the only thing I would say, in all seriousness, if you want a machine that you need to rely on to cut your wood on a day-to-day basis, do not go for this machine. Just don't go for it. Spend the extra however much thousand, I know that's a crazy thing to say, on getting a circular saw blade. I didn't want a processor where I have to either move it into the blade or pull the blade down. I want it all done hydraulically. I realise that costs a lot of money that we just haven't got, so we had to go for a cheaper one. But I'm stuck with it now. The Hacky Pilka 35 for this winter is sailing in at a 4 out of 10. So there you go. That reviews the machines we've used for this season. The lowest ranked machine is actually going to be our Nante mini digger. The simple reason is because we haven't had it for the entire winter. It took us a long time to find the time to take it to the mechanics. We've taken it to mechanics. One thing's led to another. We haven't got it back. So that is actually coming in at a 0 out of 10. The lowest ranked machine is the Nante digger, and I promise you, when it comes back, me and Luke will be having a discussion, and the executive decision will be, unless I'm outvoted, that that machine will be up for sale. I think I want to move away from mini diggers. I think it's easier just to hire them in if you need them. They're wonderful bits of kit, handy to have if you're a millionaire and you can have it sitting there, but we're not. So there you go. The logging season as a whole, work wise and busyness, it's been amazing, incredible, but it comes at a toll, and the machines we've got, as you can see, are old. They're not all right. That Ferguson's not. I've just told a complete lie. We've got a new splitter, we've got a new Quattromat, we've got a Ferguson. When I say new, I'm talking 4 to 5 years old here. We've got a 1-year-old processor, so I've just told a total lie. Some of the machines we've got are very old, and it seems to be a bit of a pattern, which is obvious, I guess, but the old machines is taking its toll on. But that's obvious. That's obvious. Machines need upkeep, especially in a place like this. We can't afford to have mechanics come in and fix things, so we have to learn to deal with it. You know, me and Luke have sort of grown up watching Dad, who had, bless his heart, a very, very sort of small amount of knowledge on how to fix and repair machines. But you learn. I listen to people, you watch videos, you just learn, and that's how me and Luke carry on. Obviously we've got TR Auto Recoveries now, and he knows, you know, quite a bit, so we're lucky in that respect. But yeah, I won't rate the season as a whole because it has been knackering, and I need to get this video footage finished because I expect you're all bored of listening to my voice. So as I pan round looking at this wonderful dull wet view, there's only one thing left to say. The only way is up. The only possible way, ladies and gentlemen, is up. See you all soon.